Alright, here is the presentation for the PowerPoint for the tablet that was made for Hardware Systems in spring of 2017 for Phil Gwyn's hardware class. So let's just get right to it. The first thing that I'll be going over is the list of parts. Now this, I believe, this is the display screen. That's the motherboard for the tablet. That's the charger. Why it's not USB powered, I don't know, but there it is. Those are the speakers. Those had to be soldered on. There's the Wi-Fi antenna. Those are all the screws. That is the set of different buttons for the tablet. And I really like that they gave us extra buttons because I was kind of shocked that I didn't screw something up whenever I was installing those, so it's good to know that there's that kind of security. Here's the assembly for the camera. Here's the SD card slot. I don't know why I grouped these together, but that's the volume and I believe the power button, and then there's the set of pieces to solder on. Oh, connecting wire. There we go. That's why I put it together. Okay, those are the brackets to hold everything in place. There's the graphite sheet heatsink, which is brilliant. It explains why all mobile devices get extra hot so quickly, but using a small sheet of graphite is a great way to make a heatsink. There's a battery, and that's I'm going to cover later in much more depth as to how I worked with that. There's the USB cord. There's the back cover of the tablet. And this is where the actual putting together starts. That's the one of the decorative pieces for the camera. What you're supposed to do is put it in, and that's what it looks like when it's put in, and then you're supposed to solder it to the back. Now, I put that later into the presentation because I wanted to group all the soldering together, both on the presentation and in real life. See, there's me peeling off the protective cover for the screen. And here's what it looks like with the screen installed into the front plastic piece of the tablet. Now there's the motherboard, and that's with the graphene heatsink attached. Now the heatsink has to be put in a special way so that it covers all the main chips on the board, and it was really helpful for the guide to show where exactly it's supposed to go and what corner. Now there's one image of the one of the buttons having been installed. I believe that's the power button, and then here are the other ones: the volume and I assume the lock button. See, there is the board actually installed and about midway through screwing everything in. See, that's where with the ribbon cable actually attached and plugged into the board, and that cable it goes to actually making sure that the screen actually works and has output. See, there's another image of it that's very blurry, and there's also all of the some of the screwing. That's me screwing in the board. There's more screws being screwed in. Okay, there's the daughter board with the volume keys and the back button, and without the soldered connector. Okay, there's the bracket screwed in that holds in the motherboard. Another bracket that holds down the screen. There's the other bracket being screwed in. I figured this would be the best way to illustrate the process of putting them on. Let's see, and this is where the soldering comes in. That's the daughter board for using the putting in the SD card. Pretty proud of the soldering work. I don't know why it's in portrait orientation. Halfway through putting this together, it decided to switch to portrait on me, and I don't really know why, but at the same time, it doesn't really affect the actual presentation itself, so I just kind of left it, so I'm sorry if that's jarring. There's the connector having been soldered in. It didn't really seem like soldering them all in one band actually had any effect on the tablet, because it booted on and it worked and everything, so it didn't seem like it had any effect, but time will tell, I suppose. There's part of the speaker being soldered in. I believe, yeah, it should be. Oh no, that's a speaker. Let me make sure that I've got this right as to what that actually is, because I don't want to tell you wrong. Okay, that's the Wi-Fi antenna being soldered in. Okay. And I do apologize for having such misguided difficulty trying to install that onto the actual frame. I don't know why I did, but sorry about that. Like I said, those were the speakers. Now this is the battery. Now, about this battery. So I had a little bit of difficulty installing the battery. Whenever I took off the adhesive, I thought the battery was a little bit beveled and that it would take a little bit of work to install, to actually place it in and for the adhesive to work. Why I thought that, I've got no idea. But I put it down and I press kind of hard so that I make sure the adhesive sticks, and I hear this pop. I lift the battery, and there's a blast radius on the screen. Thank goodness it doesn't actually affect the functioning of the screen. See a blast radius on the back of the screen, and then I lift up the battery, and then there's a crater in it with a white, hot, glowing thing in the middle. Turns out I had left a screw on it whenever I was moving everything to be soldered on, and I just kind of popped it into the battery, pulled it out. Tiny fire came out of the battery, and thankfully you, Dr. Phil, replaced it with a new one, so thank you so much. That way I don't fail. See, there's the decorative back piece actually fully soldered on. There's the camera assembly installed with the back and the front cameras. There's another picture that's slightly less blurry, and one more that has the back piece installed and the actual bracket in for the front camera. See, and there's the whole completed setup. The speakers are installed where they're supposed to be. There's a replacement battery. Everything's right and tidy and where it should be placed. There's speakers inside the plastic backing of the tablet. And there's the back on top of the tablet, which is the completed work. So here is the booted home screen. That wallpaper is gorgeous. I love the way that it's three-dimensional. I didn't really understand how I was supposed to illustrate more that it was on. I just know this is supposed to be the last page, so I really hope I did it right. Now with the a picture of the screw that I lifted out of the battery, I thought this would be a good time to talk about any difficulties that I had with putting together the tablet. Naturally, the important thing to do here is to make sure that you do everything right and that you don't do anything stupid, like, say, installing a battery and then puncturing it with a screw. It never really hits you how much energy is inside of a battery until you see it making a battery like this white hot and making it start to chip off pieces at how burning hot it is. Other than that, building the tablet was pretty straightforward. Just everything worked together very, very well. The SD card slot, put that in. Power supply, just everything, just kind of installed the way it was supposed to. Soldering wasn't really any big deal. The only difficulty I had with the soldering was that whenever I was trying to install the decorative back piece, I ended up melting the plastic a little bit whenever I was installing it, but I assume you're supposed to. I don't really know how you really avoid it. But yeah, let's see. Borneo holds main data. The camera operates the way a camera should. Heatsink made sure that heat was moved away from the major components of the board so it didn't fry out. Speakers, they're speakers. And everything's just kind of intuitive on the functioning of all the components. So let's see, right now I'm at the about 9:30 mark. I'm rambling at this point. So I figured I'd end it. So thank you so much. See you next semester.